Hey comic fans, welcome to the Comic Fix, your one-stop shop for every single thing DC Comics do some create around to a little bit Marvel. My name is David and welcome to the Comic Fix. This is episode 33.1 and today I'm going to be introducing a new score system for the Comic Fix. Now what I usually do is 1 to 5 score. Well, now I'm going to simplify it to a thumbs up, to a thumbs down, to a thumbs up with being haul-worthy. Now, each and every month that the same book is haul-worthy, I'm going to be telling you guys, it's been consistently haul-worthy. It's been going 5 months in a row where it's haul-worthy. So I'll be doing that. And starting things off, we got 4 books to review. And first is Aquaman issue number 16, Throne of Atlantis tie-in. So with the Throne of Atlantis and it being tie-in between Justice League and Aquaman, there's been one thing that Geoff Johns has done with the Justice League, is that he, or in DC Comics, has given almost all the DC or the Justice League members their own book, except for Cyborg. Throne of Atlantis has been really focusing not just on the Justice League, but mostly on Cyborg himself, between his relationship with his father and what is his stance with the group. And so with that, Geoff Johns has put Cyborg at the center of this book, and it makes me want a Cyborg own series so much more. Since the New 52 started, Cyborg has been one of the founding members. Us, the fans, have been crying out loud to DC Comics, please, oh please, can you give Cyborg a comic? And after this, what Geoff Johns has done with Cyborg and given him all his character moments and this enriching story with him and his father, why the hell does he not have his own comic? But it's nice though to see that Geoff Johns knows that that's happening. He's actually putting Cyborg at the center of the Justice League event that's going on in Throne of Atlantis. So we just get some great character moments with Cyborg, and it's really fantastic to see. Now with this being Aquaman issue number 16, we do get to see a lot of Aquaman in this issue. And it's nice though to see that Aquaman is the only one that can actually save the Justice League at this point. Because his brother had sent him down in the Justice League, down to the Dark Waters. And so it's up to Aquaman to rescue the Justice League. And what he's getting help with is with Batman. Now Batman is encased in this pod-like thing that the Atlanteans have put him in. And so Batman is helping out Aquaman while he's in this bubble. And it's really cool to see the dynamic between these two guys, because all throughout the Throne of Atlantis, Batman has understood what Aquaman is doing, and he knows that the Justice League just can't go in there and just strike. He gave Aquaman that chance in issue number 15, and it did not work out the way that they saw. They saw that Aquaman was not getting anywhere with his brother, and they knew that if they did not strike then, that Orm would basically just destroy Boston and flood it and do what happened to Atlantis. So it's just, this issue has some really fantastic moments all the way through. And this is Geoff Johns at his best. Now with this issue, we've had 2 issues with a new artist on there. And the new artist is Paul Pelletier. And he's been doing a fantastic job, especially with the colors. This book has not lost a beat since the main artist that's been on the book for 15 issues went over to do Justice League with Geoff Johns. So this book has not lost a beat, especially in the art department, since the artist left. I don't have his name right on top of my head, but this book has not lost a beat since the beginning. Aquaman has been built up in the New 52 to be this badass, and it is so fantastic to see. And it's nice to see that Geoff Johns, is the way he writes a story, is that from the first issue to his last, there's always a meaning for some plot elements in there. We had the monsters that are facing against Aquaman. This issue had consequences in issue number 1, and it was interesting to see how that whole plotline was developed. I don't know where this series is going, but what I do know is that Geoff Johns has a fantastic idea, and an idea that he wants to tell. There was an interview where Jeff Johns even stated that at the beginning of his run with the Justice League, it was not his intentions to do the origin stories that was told in the New 52. And this is where he wanted to start. And I kind of wondered, why did not DC Comics let him start out like this? Where it was just easy, just, the Justice League are here. He could have easily just done one issue of their or no, he could have done the origins of how they all got together in the Zero issue and started out the story in here. And maybe, and just maybe, we all would not be as bitchy about how Justice League started. Because even I know that when the Justice League book started, it was not at its peak. It was not at its best. It was kind of by the numbers. But what Jeff Johns is doing with Justice League and Aquaman, with this crossover that's going on, is fantastic. And I know that I'm more talking about the Justice League, but it is a crossover after all, and it is a book that's written by Jeff Johns. So Jeff Johns has a lot to playing in this world that he's been creating. And it's so fantastic to see, and I finally feel that there's a reason to read Justice League and Aquaman now more than ever. Now with Aquaman, when he started out, Jeff Johns, he had to get over the point where, yes, he was a punchline for all these years that Aquaman's been around. But now, Jeff Johns has made Aquaman into a badass. And it's so freaking fantastic. The artwork's fantastic in this issue. The writing's top notch. And you get some great character development all the way through. This book's going to get a thumbs up with haul worthy. So if the next issue is haul worthy, it'll be 2 weeks in a row where this book was or 2 months in a row where this book was haul worthy. So if you want, go pick this book up and put it on your pull list. So it is pull worthy. Next up is Red Lanterns, issue number 16. Now with Red Lanterns, people have been wondering, what is the point of this book, and what is the point of this book in Rise of the Third Army? Now, the Red Lantern series is not really focused on the Rise of the Third Army, but more on the Red Lanterns trying to come as a whole to rebuild their battery and get power back to themselves. So basically right now, the Red Lantern's on the low end of the totem pole throughout the different Lantern organizations or groups. Red Lanterns have been beat up to hell. Their power battery and their planet that they're on were basically being destroyed. And so we got the Red Lanterns trying to build themselves up. And it's really freaking fantastic to see. And in this issue, we kind of get the whole entire story arc of why the Red Lanterns is in the Rise of the Third Army, with the culmination of the Manhunters and just coming together and going to go and destroy the Guardians, which is freaking fantastic to see. Now the only downside to this book is that it says on here that Miguel Sepulveda is the artist. Now, as I said in my haul video this week, that Miguel Sepulveda, he is such a freaking fantastic artist, and he ups this book so much. And then I started looking at the art when I first started. I was like, this doesn't look like Miguel Sepulveda art. Not to say it's bad, but it's just not up to that par. And then I see on here we have a guest penciler, Andres Guinaldo. He does a good job. He does an adequate job. He definitely does not deter from what Miguel Sepulveda was doing. He does an adequate job, and the great thing is, though, is that when an artist comes on to just guest pencil or just do a couple issues, is that sometimes that guest penciler will just try to just do by the numbers of the last artist, or the main artist. Well, Miguel's, the guest penciler, he kind of puts his own little flavor to it, and it's pretty nice to see. And I just really, I actually kind of enjoy the artwork. If you just see right here, it's pretty freaking sick. And I really like how everything's coming together with the Red Lanterns and the Rise of the Third Army. And you see why that they have a book in the first place and why it hasn't been canceled yet. I have really enjoyed this series. Peter Milligan, he has really done a fantastic job at just showing more light to the Red Lanterns and showing that they're not just rage in them. And there's nothing really else to say. It was a really good issue. It was an issue that kept on with the storyline, and it made you show the point of why it is a part of the Rise of the Third Army. Now, in the end, I'm going to give this book a thumbs up, but it's definitely not pool-worthy. Not yet. But maybe, just maybe, it someday will. But there was nothing really deterring me from this issue to say, oh, this was a bad issue. Good stuff. Next up is a book that I have been pretty much dumping on for the last about 3 issues, and that's Teen Titans issue number 16. Scott Liddell, he's definitely not been my favorite Teen Titans writer of all time, probably in the bottom of the barrel. I really don't like what he has done with the Teen Titans in the New 52 restart. But this issue, we have a guest writer in Fabian Nicieza, which I believe Fabian Nicieza, I believe he did write a couple issues of Stormwatch, I think. So anyways, Fabian Nicieza, he's the guy who's doing the dialogue in here, and you definitely feel a kind of freshness to the dialogue, especially between the Teen Titans members. Of course, this is a Death of the Family tie-in, and this is the last one of the whole entire tie-in lot. So I'm kind of glad. I was kind of getting a little fatigue almost with the whole Death of the Family tie-ins. I feel like the Catwoman one was not needed whatsoever. And that was really it. And the Teen Titans. I mean, you could easily just put this one as a Red Hood and the Outlaw Death of the Family instead of having this book in Teen Titans. One of the things that Scott Liddell has been doing, especially with all the books he's been doing, is that he tries to tie them all together. We saw that when he was writing Superboy and Teen Titans and how he tried to tie them all together. And he makes the Superboy books feel more like just a Teen Titans issue. It's like we were getting 2 Teen Titans issues a month. Where in this one, it's a crossover between Death of the Family and all the Batman books, and also a crossover between Red Hood and the Outlaw. So we got all these crossovers going on. Now, the artist in here does a pretty fantastic job. I really like the artwork, especially the way the opening pages. It's really cool. I just really like this opening page. It just gives you the tone of the book. And it's just really fantastic. Just love that opening scene. So with this issue, the dialogue had a little bit more freshness than the way that Scott Liddell has been writing it. Now, the problems I have with this book is that sometimes with the way that the panels are done, you don't really know how to read it. Now, I look at Batwoman. Batwoman is a fantastic way to look at a guy who has a splash page. And it's just got all these interesting perspectives. It's easy to read. And just, you know exactly how the flow of that panel goes. Well, this artist, he tries to do some interesting things in the panel. And it didn't really work. I don't know, maybe it was just because I was too tired. But the flow of these strange panels where you got the panels going to side, did not really work as well as they could have. And maybe it was just on the artist, and it just didn't feel as dynamic as the artist set it out to be. So that's just a knock on it. And also, there's been one thing I noticed with with the same thing with the issue of Red Hood and the Outlaws and Teen Titans, is that Scott Liddell in the story of Death of the Family, it feels like he doesn't want to tell it, so he's given some plot lines in the way he's going to go with the book after Death of the Family. We get a little bit of Raven and we get a page of Raven. And it's just like a little tease about what's to come. And onto that, this is Raven right here. I really hate the designs of all the Teen Titans, the way they look. It just looks dumb, except for Kid Flash. This right here is Dark Raven, I guess. Blackbird of Terror, Raven. So I really hate the way that Raven's going to be looking. Hopefully, once she becomes a good gal, she'll give her a new costume, but this costume freaking sucks. I really hate it. Ugh, just looks freaking nasty. I mean, DC, you could have done so much better. It looks something out of the 90s. And it's funny though, sometimes about the DC Comics, as I've been hearing, is that a lot of people see DC Comics kind of going back into their 90s era type of feel, especially with the artwork and sometimes with the writing. Is that bad? Well, you did have Rob Liefeld in here, and he was fucking terrible. So, I don't know. I don't really know where this book is going after this, except for that little plot line with Raven. This book was, I'm going to give it a thumbs down. It was not that good. I mean, with the whole Death of the Family tie-in, it was the weakest of the weakest. I mean, Anna Seni's Catwoman was a lot better than this issue. I just felt like the plot was half-assed, and it felt like a plot that Scott Liddell didn't want any part of. And I left just feeling, ugh. So I'm giving it a down. I give it a burn. I mean, well, not a burn, but just a thumbs down. It was not as good as I wanted to be. Now, the good thing is that you look on those preview pages for DC Comics, and they have Eddie Barrows is going to be coming on to do the artwork in Teen Titans. Eddie Barrows, if you did not know, he does Nightwing, or he did, and he did a fantastic job. I really liked the depiction of Nightwing in his run on doing the art. So I'm excited to see what he will be doing with the Teen Titans, because if this page, let me try to find the page for you guys to show you the little preview, doesn't get you, like right here. I already see a big improvement on Eddie Barrows' art in the whole, just this splash page of what's to be coming of the Teen Titans. Especially with Bunker. He looks pretty sick there. And you definitely tell that Scott Liddell has a special place in his heart for Bunker. Because he's been building Bunker up. Like in Red Hood and the Outlaws, there was a point in there where him and Arsenal were trying to defend against these zombified people who are or Joker-fied people, and he's basically just building up a block, a barricade between them and the zombified people. And Arsenal basically mentions, Bunker, I can tell that you're gonna be one day a Justice League member. You got so much potential, and you definitely see that Scott Liddell really likes this person that he created, or this character he created in the New 52. And do I see Bunker being a Justice League member? Not really. I mean, he's been one of the good points of Teen Titans, but I don't know. Not really enjoying Teen Titans at the moment. Maybe I'll drop it, I don't know. Because the thing is, as I've said before, is that Teen Titans is one of those books that has been in my life for so long, and I absolutely love it. But since the New 52 started, Scott Liddell was on there, it's just been dragged down. And I just don't know where it's going. Don't know where it's going at all. And I hate the costume designs. And I really want my old DC Teen Titans back. I really miss them. So the last book is I, Vampire, issue number 16. Joshua Hale Falkoff. You, my friend, are a freaking awesome writer. I love your work immensely. You have created this vampire in the DC Comics to be something different and refreshing. And all the times of watching, and I never watched them, just these terrible movies of vampires and the freaking horrible Twilight Saga, you come in and you do vampires right in I, Vampire. Now, I think the next issue is your last issue in the whole entire thing. And my friend, you have done a fantastic job. And this issue is no exception. Now, the only bads I can really say about this issue is not in the writing department. The writing department is top notch. But what is not is that we got like 3 artists on this book. Now, the artists do a pretty fantastic job. I mean, I absolutely love the first artist. He gives this quality that it just reminds you of something really special. I just really love how demonic the artwork is, especially at the beginning. And it makes me wish that the whole book was that way all the way through, because that opening page is looking so fantastic. And then you got panels that right here. Okay, so we go from this freaking fantastic artwork, which is just mind-blowing, I think. I just love the way that the coloring's going with, and everything is just top-notch. And then we go to this page. Now, this page. The artwork's not bad. Not bad whatsoever. But it just... I absolutely hate it where there's multiple artists, especially on this issue. 3 artists on this issue. With the only good thing is the same inker. But for this page, it just seems like the inker was just like, wait, okay, I don't know what to do with it to make it flow throughout the whole entire book. So we just got some panels in here, some pages that just be like, what the hell am I looking at? This is just, it's just something that destroys the flow of the book. And to have such a great writer on there telling his last couple issues, you can see why that Joshua Hale Falcoff, he stated in an interview that his heart is not in the series anymore after his artist Andreas Sorrentino left the book, or got taken off the book to do the Green Arrow with Jeff Lemire. Is that after he left, Falcoff felt that his heart was not in there. It was a partnership that they had. And once he got taken off the book to go do his own things, he said his heart was not into it. And maybe he told DC Comics that, and DC Comics was like, okay, we're not going to force you to do a book where you don't feel that you're up to it. But we don't want to put any other writer on there because that would just dampen the whole entire quality of this book. And I could not see another writer writing this book. I would love to see like this series, I Vampire, go to Vertigo and have the original artist come on there and just do fantastic work and not have it be do like a pace that Saga has, where they do 6 issues and then they go off for like 3 or 4 months and then they come back on and do another 6 issues. So it allows this team to come together and do some fantastic work at their own pace. I'm really sad to see the series go. It's been really fantastic. Go and buy this issue. It's definitely pull worthy, even though the artwork is not as top notch as it can be. But damn, I really do freaking love this opening page. It just sets the tone for the whole entire book. And I'm so sad to see it go, but I'm so interested to see how it ends. And as Falcoff has said, that this series he had planned for about 4 to 5 years. And he had to shrink that 4 or 5 years into 16 issues, or 17 or 18 months. So, I'm really sad to see it go. I think this book could have been something so special. But we get what we get, right? So sad to see it go. And I would love to see, maybe in an alternate universe we would have had the iVampire that everyone would have bought, and then DC Comics would have kept that team together to do something special. So that's what this book was going to go to. But we all know how it ends. Not with the bang, but with the, So that's it for this video. In my next video, I'm going to be doing some more comic reviews of books like Superior Spider-Man to the Green Lantern Corps Annual. So I'll look forward to that. And let me know, do you like the way I'm now doing my videos with the scoring system? Up, thumbs down, and thumbs up with pull worthy. And just remember, the pull worthy will go on until it's not pull worthy, and then that streak will end. So I'll see you guys next time.